Hey guys, this is Villains the Man. I'm Evan the Great. This is Justin Von Doom, and we got a special guest today, my brother Dustin, also known as Hero Man on HC Realms. And today we're going to do a movie review over Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
As you know, the movie's been hot for years now. They're already talking about doing solo films between each section of the trilogy, and we just watched it, and overall, I liked it pretty much. Reminded me a lot of A New Hope. A lot of similarities there, but overall, kind of felt like the movie was very predictable.
I agree with it being predictable. I was excited for it. I stay away from all trailers, anything that could spoil anything. I believe that helped me like the movie. But like Justin Von Doom said, I did find it predictable, but that doesn't take away from the quality of the movie. And I would recommend it for anybody that is a Star Wars fan or that wants to start watching Star Wars. It's a really good show.
And I agree with my guys here. It definitely was a predictable film, but I think it was a good jump to the franchise to get it back involved with everything. And it's a film for all ages, from children all the way to adults. It's a good place probably for fathers to bring their sons that used to like Star Wars, because it's a continuation, and they have some new characters that we all like. And the film itself, it was kind of like it never let down. It kept steamrolling, and I like that aspect.
So we figured we'd go over all the new characters, which you've got Kylo Ren, the new, I don't know if you'd call him a Sith Lord yet. You've got Rey, you've got Finn, and we got Poe. So I guess we'll start off with Kylo Ren. You know, everybody loves the Sith. Awesome look. He starts off pretty much as a badass until he takes his helmet off, and then, as Dustin put it, he looked like a pussy.
Yes, I agree with Kylo Ren. I felt that the movie started and it made you feel that he was a Sith Lord powerhouse, and then I felt like they declined him throughout the movie all the way to the end. And it definitely dropped once he popped his helmet off. Like, you didn't expect that face under there, and I felt like that was a little bit of a letdown on his persona. But overall, I think he did a good job, and they did allow the character build-up of him. Like, the doors open to watch him become what he's going to be in this series. So they left that door open, and I did like that about it.
Ren, to me, I liked, just like these guys, I loved him before he took his helmet off. I do think they need to add a cape. I don't know what it is. I just think it makes him more villainous.
Well, he's got the cloak, but it seemed like he hardly ever wore it,
Yeah.
But I like the helmet. I like everything about him until he takes off the mask, and he just looks, I don't know, too
emo.
Much, yeah,
he's
too
very
emo.
And then he throws a temper tantrum.
But the villainous part, I don't know. He did all right, but he didn't do good enough for me. And if there was any kind of downfall to the film, there's a few things, but that kind of did it for me. But the other characters I really like I like Finn a lot, and I think his background has a lot of openings for things they're going to put in the next movie, because there's a lot of things that you kind of look at and you probably think that they're going to have to fill in the gap somewhere. And what about y'all?
About Finn, I agree with Finn. At first, I liked Finn, but I didn't think he fit the character that they were trying to put him in the slot. But as we talked about afterwards, especially after you talk to your friends, y'all will notice it too. There's a lot of doors that are left wide open for Finn, if you think about it. That I feel if they take that path, Finn will become a great character. With them doors, I think it'll fill out why he's where he is, and stuff will make sense. But overall, he wasn't a bad character. Just some of the things about his personality, I felt like he was a little misplaced.
Me, myself, I was big on Finn, as I told you guys. I enjoyed the whole thing with Stormtroopers where, we kind of programmed them almost like in a brainwash fashion, which apparently he broke that mold. But, as I brought up to you guys, did he even have the mold? Because there's a part where they're going to the Star Killer base, and Han's like, "What'd you do?" He says, "I was sanitation." why would a stormtrooper do sanitation? You know, but he seemed to know everything, which if you did do sanitation, you would actually travel around the base quite a bit. And so maybe, like I brought up, that maybe he wasn't a stormtrooper at all. He actually just took someone's spot. And maybe that's why he broke rank and kind of realized, man, I want to be a stormtrooper. And then once he got out there, he took someone's spot and he got out there, he thought, man, this is not what I thought it was going to be. You know, maybe he realizes that what do they call them now? The First Order is actually evil. But I thought that, you know, he was trying. I don't think he fit in well. He was like almost the comic relief, and I take Star Wars too seriously to have that much comic relief. Rey, I guess his counterpart on the other hand, actually really enjoyed. I think we all agree. We think that's Luke Skywalker's daughter, as Kylo Ren or Ben Solo is Han and Leia's daughter. I really liked her. She is actually the foundation for her to be Luke Skywalker is there. Abandoned as a child, good with parts and building machines, grew up on a desert planet, and like I said, it just bothers me that I think she looks like Hugo Weaving. It's just the teeth and the way she emotes sometimes. She just looks like Hugo Weaving to me.
I liked Rey as well. My personal opinion, she was the best character in the movie. She's really easy to follow, get attached to. Watch her grow. I think she has the best character growth throughout the show. You get to see where she's at, and you attach to her. She's there waiting on her family to come back. She's been there for years since she was little. That's kind of like her last hope, and she's not letting go of it. So it kind of intertwines you with that. But unlike Justin Von Doom, I instantly thought she was the counterpart to Ben Solo, you know, the twin. I thought that she was going to be his sister. I felt like they were leading up to that, but they do go away from it and correct you. But that was my original take on her, which I kind of glad they went away from it, because it was predictable. I picked up on it in the first couple of minutes of the show. But I went down the wrong path, and I enjoy when movies do that. They throw you a twist like that, that you actually have to pick up on something else, like Justin Von Doom did here, about how her origin actually started and who she would be connected to.
And for me, I really liked her a lot. She's probably my favorite character overall. It's between her and Finn, but I think she had a lot more better parts, and she fit in well, especially with all the Luke Skywalker things that you can kind of see she picked up on, like Von Doom said. But I really like her when she gets on the Millennium Falcon, and she's kind of piloting it, and it's blowing Han away all the things that she knows how to do, and I think that's what probably gave her character away, because that definitely would speak Luke, you know, to most people. Our last character, new character they introduce is Poe, right?
Yeah.
And I really like him as well. He almost fits in as, you could take him in this movie and you can set him back in any of the other movies and he fits right in. The way he acts, the way he dresses, the way he pilots ships, I really like his character a lot. Really my only beef with him is I don't think he was in it enough. But
no, I don't think he's in it.
But that's me. What do you think?
I like Poe. I felt like we talked about, Poe was I felt like he was the early Luke Skywalker, when he's just a fighter pilot. His skill level and his confidence and his heart and willpower, all that, just really build to it. And as Von Doom brought up, him and Rey, they feel like they're the split version of what Luke Skywalker originally brought to the films, without having the exact same character.
Yeah, one's the X-Wing fighter, and then one is the Jedi.
Yeah, and I thought they did a good job with that. And I feel like Poe will be in the show, because they did bring him back when they made you think that he was dead. They bring him back for a huge scene, and he actually pretty much saved the day at one point, and you get to see his fighter pilot skills. It almost blow you away. So I feel like he'll have a big part in the movies to come.
Like he had said, you know, Poe and Rey are almost Luke Skywalker split. Poe is my favorite character. He's very charismatic, and where they take the X-Wing fighter pilot part of Luke, they give him that brash side of Han Solo. So to me, he is Han Solo of the movies, where Rey would be Luke and Finn, I guess, would be C-3PO, who gets on everybody's nerves to me. But I really like Poe. He brought a lot of charisma. He was the gun-ho guy, almost the loose cannon, just like Han Solo. And Han Solo is like my favorite character, so I guess that's why he drew so much to me. And I think, to me, I think he is the best part of the movie. He's one of my favorite parts of the movie. Especially just watching him fly, where they attack the tavern, where they go to take BB-8 to get him on a clean ship. Just sitting there, it's almost a scene from Avengers where they're fighting the Chitauri and they follow each other around, and then they go from Finn, and then you just see him shooting around, and the way he turns and the way they follow him around. I thought that was one of the best parts of the movie, just watching him fly, and just, he would blast a TIE fighter, come down, hit the stormtroopers, and then turn while a TIE fighter was following him, get behind it, and shoot him himself.
Yeah, his skill behind a pilot like that, it was definite. It was easy to follow.
Very, very, very.
It was a good scene.
It's a show of his skills.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what's your favorite part of the movie, guys? Want to start off with...
Go ahead.
My favorite part of the movie is probably also the saddest part of the movie. And spoiler alert, it's where Han gets killed.
That made me cry.
Because the reason I say favorite, because it's probably going to be the most memorable part of that movie. Because he's an iconic character, and you knew once he walked out to the balcony that it was going to happen. And I really liked Chewie's reaction, because he just went on a rampage and just took that whole place down.
But see, that is a good part of the movie. Like I'd point out to you guys a while ago, you know, they're on a platform, and the door opens up. Rey is talking about the light, you know, how he wants to change. And then you can tell when that scene changes what makes it memorable. You know, to me, it's like I said, the light's on him, and as soon as that door shuts, you know, like, oh God, this is it. This is him finally getting that push to the dark side as he kills Han. And then what bothers me also about that scene you brought up, you know, Chewie goes on a rampage. I don't think he goes on enough of a rampage. Almost as quick as Han dies, it's almost like it's over. Like they forgot, because they go straight to the fight with Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And where you are right, I think that is the most memorable scene. I don't think they did it enough justice. Because you see Rey Finn, they're like, ah, and then Chewie's like, Rrr, and he starts blasting everything, and that was it. There wasn't they didn't let the emotion flow there like they should have between the rest of the characters.
My favorite part was really the entire sequence from when they first arrive on the new Death Star. They show up, and I felt like with me, there's a lot of character build up that's been happening through the show, and when they get there, that's the moment where it grabbed me and just pulled me in on the characters. All four of the main characters are there. They're all doing their jobs. They're trusting in each other, working together. To me, that was the part that grabbed me and pulled me in on the characters. From there all the way till they destroy it. I felt like that entire sequence was the best part of the show, because that's what locked me in, at least. It locked me into the show, locked me into the characters, and just got me invested in them. And I believe all good movies need a part of the show that does that. And The Force Awakens, I felt, did a really good job at it.
Along with the scene there at the tavern where you got to watch Poe and it went, you know, from person to person. I think my favorite scene was the Jedi mind trick, where Rey's sitting there, and it even goes back to so much where Kylo Ren's trying to use the Force to get information from her, like read her mind, which I thought was really neat on its own.
Yeah.
But where you realize that, man, it's almost they show you like her how much force that her control of the Force is there. Like it is stronger with her than it is Kylo Ren, because like he's sitting there trying to pull the information like he did with Poe in the beginning, and it doesn't work. And you, like she says, you're scared, and like you could see that he is scared. But you don't realize how much that she has, and then she goes to do the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
She, you know, like, oh, you'll release me and you'll leave the door open, and then he just kind of looks, and then he walks up. What did you say? And then she says it again. You think, oh, this isn't going to work. And next thing you know, he hits it.
Yep.
And he leaves and drop your blaster, and I'll drop my blaster. Which apparently that is 007. That was him. That was his role in the movie. He's that stormtrooper.
I did not know
Daniel
that.
Craig. That was him. To what's bad about the movie, as we talk about predictability, I think predictability kills in a movie because I want to be surprised when I want to watch a movie. Like Dustin had said, you know, for me, when the first trailer came out, I try to stay away as much of it as possible, so it would be more enjoyable for me. And I did. I liked it a lot. Like I said, it reminded me a lot. The similarities to The New Hope were there. The predictability, he killed it. And then we were talking about Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren kind of killed it for me when he took his helmet off the first time. I thought that was bad. He should have never done that because, you know, that's the thing that makes Vader so badass is you don't know what Vader looks like. You just know there's this figure in black and he's a badass. And for me to take the helmet off that soon killed it. They should have waited until Han told him to take the helmet off. That's the first time you should have seen it. I think Kylo Ren is what I just think is bad altogether because they're leading him up to be this badass through this entire time, and really he's just a brat that throws temper tantrums.
Not touching on it being too predictable because we've covered that. I agree with it. I thought it was predictable, easy to follow, and see what was coming. I want to touch on the Kylo Ren. Like I was talking about, I felt like he was a badass when he first showed up at his power level. And then to me, it seemed like they just kept letting me down on him throughout it. His first temper tantrum, which I kind of understood. It kind of showed that he was still immature, was still new to everything, and was like maybe torn on himself about what he was doing. So I understood that part. It did bother me a little bit to have your main villain do that. But I understood it. But my biggest letdown was how they just kept, to me, it was a decrease in power. All the way to the end when a sanitary stormtrooper lands a couple shots on him in a lightsaber fight. It would never happen.
Who has no training with lightsabers or the Force at all. And
wants to run from battles and is terrified and he landed a couple shots. That really bothered me, and that was the breaking point. But what I was talking about, they left the door open for him at the end. You know he survived during this earthquake. Rey, she landed some shots on him. She cut his face up. I'm really hoping when they bring him back, he's a scarred up, tough, no light left in him villain. A lot more like Darth was after Darth became Darth Vader.
And he's got to lose the hair.
Yeah, and he has to lose the hair.
The hair was like, I have pretty hair.
I'm actually hoping that during the earthquake that it crumbled on him a little bit and maybe scarred him up, maybe got burned a little bit, become the more villain persona that people are used to seeing, not the emo crybaby that I expected every time he took his mask off to cry about something. I felt like that part of the show was a letdown. But overall, he wasn't a horrible character. He looked awesome.
A lot of potential.
Yeah, a lot of potential in him. I loved his helmet. I liked actually his costume more than I like Vader's costume.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, but Vader's costume's a classic. You have to like it. But his was like a new twist on it, and I really liked that. But I agree with Justin. He shouldn't have took the mask off till Han asked him to.
And then to kind of stretch from where they were talking about is I didn't like the part where Finn was able to hurt him when he's fighting and not having any skill. But the main parts of the movie that I didn't like was everything they said. But there's something to the story that I liked at the end that kind of drove it. And I don't know if anybody realized this, is when Ren fights Rey, she actually beats him 3 times. She gets out of his restraints, he can't mind control her, and then they're out there and they're going to go for the saber, and she pulls it to her, and then she basically beats him. And if it wasn't for the earthquake that happened in the middle of it, I think she could have did it.
That's actually a good point. I didn't even really
so
think about it.
So that's 3 ways to demoralize somebody.
Well, it's like I said, it seems like the Force is stronger with her, and he knows.
So I'm wondering if when they started filming this, they made him real badass, and then they started making him less, and then they realized, hey, we're going to do that for a reason, because we're going to just crush him at the end, but let him survive. And that usually makes a more powerful villain. And that's it for our video review. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, check us out on YouTube, like our videos, and that's about it. See you guys next time.